up, guys? It's Benny. Remember when a guy named Barack Obama ran for president, promising to heal all of the racial divides in this country? There's not a white America or a black America, there's just the United States of America, he said. And he had a white mom and a black dad, so I guess we all believed him and elected him president a couple times. And let's go ahead and see what happened to race relations after that. You can see here, according to Gallup, the most accurate pollster in America, that race relations were just totally fine before Barack Obama, right here. And then they collapsed and have cratered down to absolutely, well, the worst race relations we've had since the Civil War. So something went horribly wrong with this little experiment with Barack Obama. And it's probably because we didn't actually confront the race issue and the problems in this nation. In fact, we just exacerbated them. Barack Obama said that if he had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin, and he fomented race riots in St. Louis. And then, of course, the BLM riots that torched the entire rest of the country. They used race as an opportunity to create political power for themselves off the pain and suffering of others. They created a racist poison pill that they fed a large portion of the country, telling them that all of our institutions were systemically racist and needed to be torn down. And that effectively everything is permissible as long as you can say that, well, it's your race. And that's exactly what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, in this despicable stabbing that occurred in the state of Texas, where now we know Karmelo Anthony's last words before he stabbed Austin Metcalf at a track meet with a knife in the heart and killed him. The 17-year-old Metcalf had simply asked Karmelo Anthony to move, and Karmelo Anthony reached into his bag, pulled out a knife, because that's totally what you bring to a track meet, and committed murder in cold blood. You'll be shocked to learn that the same people who've been raised on Barack Obama's style of victim politics are totally defending this behavior and are, in fact, excited to donate to Karmelo Anthony, as he has raised $160,000 from presumably black or woke Americans. The murderer of this unarmed, innocent young man has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars from people like this.
Not gonna make me believe or feel any kind of sympathy for Austin Metcalf at all. He put his hands on that young man when he should have kept them hands to himself. When the young man told him, "Touch me and see, you better not touch me," that meant that I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching me. Rosa Parks days is over. You cannot think that you can move somebody out of a seat that you don't own and think that it's going to be okay. And you can't determine how I'm going to retaliate on you when you put your hands on me in an aggressive manner. Austin Metcalf got exactly what he deserved.
This is incredible. These same people that defend George Floyd to their last breath and would carry George Floyd's golden coffin when George Floyd was fighting with the cops for about a half an hour straight, was committing crimes, was high off his ass on fentanyl, sit there saying, well, you know what? You don't follow instructions, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's demonic. It's a sick way to live, and it's clearly something that is being split among racial lines. The last words that were said to Austin Metcalf here by Karmelo Anthony is this: touch me and see what happens. And then what happened was he was stabbed immediately in the chest with a black knife by this stand-up student who it's the good students that stab people for talking to them at track meets. It's always the best of them that bring knives to track meets. Didn't you bring knives to track meets? Is that what you did as a young man? Ladies and gentlemen, the Hodge twins breaking down some of the sentiment for Karmelo Anthony on TikTok.
I'm on TikTok and I'm looking at everybody's reactions about what happened between Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony, right? Mm-hmm. And the black reaction is what you expect.
But white people, obviously not all of you, so let me just get that out the way. But a bunch of y'all are just a bunch of racist, bigoted crisis actors.
People really believe that that kid had the right to tell Karmelo to move. This kid wasn't working security. He wasn't given no responsibility. He wasn't the seat manager. Like, if that kid would have just minded his own business, would he or would he not still be alive?
Austin got unalived. A lot of people are trying to make it a race issue, and it's not. It has nothing to do with that right there. This was self-defense.
And this is all over TikTok. I see a lot of posts on Facebook talking about this is self-defense. Yeah, from one demographic of people. Yeah, it's all black people. Did he have any injuries? Did you see his mugshot? Clean face, nothing. No scratches, no nothing. No punches were thrown from what I heard so far.
It wouldn't matter because there is no justification for killing somebody for talking to you. So Austin Metcalf killed because he talked to Karmelo Anthony. This is the state of America that we're in. This is why the numbers for race relations look like this. Because if you talk to the wrong person, then you're just going to get stabbed and die. Thousands of people in the black community have rallied around Karmelo Anthony and given $160,000 as a reward for murdering a white kid, is what Matt Walsh has to say. The fundraiser for thug Karmelo Anthony, who admitted to killing Austin Metcalf, has now reached $150,000. An atrocity. People donating have no shame. Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked in the street by an aggressive mob. Daniel Penny stood up to a violent criminal. Karmelo Anthony killed somebody in cold blood because he talked to him. But sure, let's pretend it's all the same. There are 12 different fundraisers on GoFundMe for Karmelo Anthony, the man charged with murder. You cannot coexist with people who call Karmelo Anthony a victim. These same people would stab you too. For what? For talking to you? You can't go talk to somebody, ask them a question. You're no longer allowed to do that because of some racial injustice at some point, because of Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks wasn't stabbing her way through the bus, if I recall the story of Rosa Parks. Ladies and gentlemen, the parents of Karmelo Anthony have increased their donation request to $150,000, literal minutes after reaching their initial goal. So they're grifting now off of this. It's all a grift. Well, thank God the grift is hopefully over and over soon, as the fundraiser and GoFundMe has been taken offline now. The fundraiser is now officially gone, hopefully due to the terms of service that says we're not going to be raising money for cold-blooded killers or murderers, right? Jason Whitlock, who has been sounding off on this, had something I think insightful to say, that the fundraiser itself may have been fraudulent. The kid who killed Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony, hear me out. My belief is that most of the stuff you're seeing on this app defending Karmelo Anthony, the murderer, is bought and paid for by his defense team, leftist NGOs agitating for racial conflict. It's not organic. You pay key race-bait influencers to post stuff in his defense, and then you go to the groupthink, radical idolatry to take over. Next thing you know, a cut and dry case becomes a clickable, ratings-driven narrative about America's racial history and unfair criminal justice system. It's exactly what they did with George Floyd and BLM. This is the Matrix at work doing what is designed to do, divide black and white America and distract from the truth. We're in a battle of good versus evil. Unfortunately, black Americans have been brainwashed into demonic black culture, religion established by Hollywood and the music industry. We should pray for deliverance and point to Christ and the cross. All else is noise and plays into the hands of Satan. Thank you for reading. Yeah, talk about playing into the hands of Satan. His lawyer, the lawyer for the murderer, Karmelo Anthony, is now saying, well, he's been treated too harshly. The attorneys say they're working with the Collin County District Attorney's Office to seek an agreement for a better determination of the filed murder charge. They want the charges reduced, and they want to get rid of the excessive $1 million bond. Is it a George Soros district attorney? So scumbag lawyer here saying, I know my client said it was self-defense. I don't have any reason to disbelieve that. I don't need to develop facts or talk to people and figure out what's going on before I make a statement. about what I think happened. We're committed to ensuring that his rights are protected. They're asking now for the charges to be reduced severely when he just straight up stabbed someone in cold blood and murdered him. Matt Walsh has gone insanely viral for this post with 174,000 likes and 19,000 reposts and 19 million views. If I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat, and then I told you that one young man in this altercation was white and the other was black, and then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant, every single person would know the answer immediately. Young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. That is a fact. We all know it, and it's time we speak honestly about it, or nothing else will ever change. This is the kind of change that you could bring about if you were, let's say, Barack Obama. Right about here, you see, when Barack Obama was elected, race relations were peachy, in fact. Look at this. Would you say that race relations between white and black people are very good, somewhat good, or very bad? White adults, black adults. Everyone around here saying it's in the 60s and 70s, saying that things are good. Things are pretty good. Blacks and whites, things are pretty good all throughout Obama. And then Obama decided, oh, wait, I need to win an election. I need to win re-election. Things aren't going great. And so Obama starts to destroy race relations in this country, and they haven't recovered, and they never will. Until somebody actually has the balls to talk about data like this, about the extreme disproportion of young black Americans to violence. Look at this. Oh, and by the way, like in case you're wondering, like yes, there are tons of white victims, race of the victim, race of the offender. Okay. But this is actually black people, by and large, are the victim of other black people. And they make up like 12% of the population. And they commit this massively outsized number of murders here in the country. This is FBI statistics. Now, they haven't released these statistics for a very long time, which is it really makes you wonder. Like, who are they committed to solving the actual problem and talking about the underlying issue here? This is the total number of homicide deaths in America. You can see here an absolute explosion with black on black crime, but also black on white crime here. So black people killing white Americans, 566. They haven't released updated versions of this data in a very long time. You may need to see the data proving that black males are disproportionately violent. Okay, well, literally all crime stats bear this out. Let's start with this. Matt Walsh saying, what part of my tweet is factually incorrect? To be clear, I said that black males are disproportionately violent, and your response is to imply that if I said that to a black male, he would become violent towards me. Well, okay, then. I guess we're in agreement here. So Matt Walsh said, and this also caused him heat, if you told me a young man committed a mass shooting, I would guess black and be correct in almost every case. But if you specifically said the location was a school, then pretty much, and only then, I would guess white. Still, the point is that young black males commit more homicides. Oops, it looks like I'd be wrong. 35 black school shooters in 2023, 4 Hispanic, 4 white school shooters, 1 Asian school shooter. Data and statistics are the enemy of central anti-white narratives. Yikes. School shootings by race. Red is death. Shootings and injuries. Goodness gracious. These are the kind of issues that would be really great to have someone like Barack Obama. You know, Barack Obama would have been the perfect messenger on this kind of stuff, right? Black on white homicides, nearly 15,000. White on black homicides, 6,000. But you'd never know it. But you got more than double. And yet, the population of white versus black in this country, I mean, again, it's like only 12 or 13% of the country is white, is black. And then like 60% of the country is white. So, like, if it was 50-50, these would already be horrible statistics. the fact that it's such a small number of the population is really truly atrocious. And it needs, like, it would be great to have an actual real conversation about this and to really like start talking about why is this subsection of the population so inherently violent. This would be like obviously a great thing for everyone, including black people who are the main victims of black crime. But I don't think that we have the capacity for that conversation today, sadly, because of individuals who've been broken by the system. And this kind of stuff, this kind of like thinking is genocidal, right? Like these people want a genocide. Like this is what, you're not, like the lady makes the case here, you're not allowed to ever like speak to any young black man. Otherwise, get ready to, you get what's coming to you if you do that. You'll die. You're deserving of death. This is the point. This is like what's being argued here. How do you negotiate with that? How do you come to peace with that? You can't. You can't. So that's what needs to change. The data backs it up. I know Walsh caught a ton of heat for this, but the data backs it up. And maybe it's time to start having that conversation. Don't you want to live in a peaceful society? Don't you want to live in a society where like your kids don't get stabbed at a track meet? What world is this? I certainly do. Right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, the data is the enemy of the narrative, right? It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for a more peaceful America and a safer America. See ya.